DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We just talked to Tanner Wall and to Steve Cleveland. We got a player's perspective on all the tumult and change, and we got a coach's perspective. How about Steve, who tends to give a long answer? It's business. Straight out of The Godfather, PK. You love to quote that movie. There's so many truths that stand the test of time, which is why they're truths, I guess.
I think that you really can't begrudge someone for going to Michigan. I mean, that's, as Kyle would say, and
that's the bottom line.
The dearly departed Kyle Whittingham. He's departed.
Yeah, that's what you make it sound like it's a funeral.
For some people it is.
I knew that would be the next line.
Not for me. I'm ecstatic he's gone.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Because?
I had enough of him.
Okay.
Absolute narcissistic dope. Oh, wait, that's me.
Yeah, enough about you.
How do you like that's what you get from a listener to start the new year? Man.
Yep. Well, there you go.
An absolute narcissistic dope. I try so hard to be likable. I think under the circumstances, man, you got to go. And Kyle could do what he wants.
Yep.
But I'm talking about the assistants. I'm talking about the Jay Hills.
They can also do what they want,
but,
and they can also go.
He's got to go. Jernaro Gilford has to go.
I get it. And I don't begrudge him going. And I know people are upset coaching staffs are getting pulled apart, but I just think that Dave Rowe's saying, well, it's every coach for themselves. I mean, these guys are all at risk of getting fired. We love Kyle and Kalani, and they're the nicest guys ever, and they both fired coordinators. Multiple times. It's part of the gig. Back to what Steve said. It's business. You got that a long time ago. You were asked, and I forget which job it was. Was it the football job was open? And the question is, well, is this a job? Or can't say no to the church. Is this a job or is this a calling? It's a job. It's business.
Yeah. Yeah, Philadelphia Inquirer called me on that.
Yes.
And quoted me anonymously liberally when I was working for the Watchdog, and the story ran verbatim in the Deseret News.
Bravo.
The unnamed, the anonymous source, it was me.
This is a Tribune writer. Hey, this is a great story. Good stuff. We got to run this thing from Philly.
Yeah, because it was all about Andy Reid. You know, he was coaching the Eagles at the time.
Yeah.
I remember vividly. I was sitting in a hotel in Fort Collins, Colorado. The Cougars were going to play the Rams that night, and so it was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I had nothing to do. The guy calls me and wrote down everything I said, and then they ran the story. The T News. Nobody knew that the anonymous dude was me, but it was me because those were my quotes that I gave him. And well, that. It's a funny situation, too, because, you know, you work with an athletic director, you work with these coaches, but then when it comes right down to the moment, it is, in a sense, every person for him or herself.
Yeah.
You look at Roberts at Utah women's basketball, had been doing really well, and she elevated the program, right, and had that great NCAA run, and then the Sparks call. And the season was already underway.
Well, bye. Straight out of Tombstone, another great movie. Well, bye.
And it is a funky business in that way, and she obviously viewed it as a better opportunity to get in the WNBA and to do what she's doing over there with the Los Angeles franchise, and so be it here. So you got all these situations going on, and you probably weren't going to retain Jay for very much longer anyway, and I don't see how anyone could have hard feelings towards Jay. To me, this was 1,000%, not a 100, 1,000% no-brainer. And Jennaro's, he's been working hard for many, many years, and has done a great job at BYU and they've elevated their talent in the defensive backfield, particularly at the cornerbacks, immensely in the last few years. And the good thing for BYU is that I have no reason to think they won't continue to do that. They've expanded their recruiting base. I was talking with someone just, I think, was it Saturday? Maybe yesterday, but I think it was Saturday, about, for BYU, the LDS thing, and could you work there? Did you have to go to church and all that? And I told the guy a situation. There was a coach who was LDS, but he didn't participate in church, and he couldn't get the job. And he joked with me. He said, it'd be better if I took my name off the rolls. And I said, well, why don't you do that? He said, because my mother then would be mad at me. And I was talking to a coach. I don't want to give up too much. But he says, well, those times have changed here. And I don't want to say they're looking the other way, but they've expanded their horizons in that way. So the point is they should be able to get qualified people in there because they've elevated the program. It's been elevated immensely from where it was as an independent a few years back to where it is now. And there is a form of loyalty. I think Aaron Roderick showed some loyalty to Kalani Sitake. He potentially had options, and it was a gut-wrenching week for him last week. And his connection to Kalani was strong enough, and they probably increased the money. Because on Friday I'm sitting there at home. What was I? Well, I don't even remember what I was watching, but I was watching some game Friday, probably basketball. I don't even remember. I honestly don't.
It's all a blur after a while.
Well,
there was a ton of.
Was the Jazz playing Friday?
No, they played Saturday.
Right.
There was a ton of college football Friday.
Oh, I was watching the Holiday Bowl. That's
even after the playoffs, yeah.
Yeah,
right.
that's what it was. I was watching the Holiday Bowl, and it was an entertaining game. And out of the blue, I get a text that says, "Yeah, we're extremely competitive." And so it was. So A-Rod's staying. That's what it was without saying what they were saying. And it turns out that they won't. I don't think they'll have an announcement. Only players announce.
I was going to say you got to be.
There's not going to be a graphic saying he's locked
back.
up.
It'd be totally different. Hurry up.
Yeah.
I don't like it either. We're all laughing about it.
Back is what they've been putting out all week.
They're running it back. I've re-upped. I've re-signed. I've seen them all out there. And I get it. They need to. It creates momentum for the team because there is all this doubt. Because as Tanner Wall said, everybody is a free agent. And so I get why the teams are doing it, even though it gets super tiresome because, 100 teams times 85 players, like how many times do we need to see that?
Oh, yeah, I don't know that but all of them have the
No,
the
they don't all
do it.
They don't all do it, but a lot of them do, and it gets to be a blur after a while.
Yeah, well, I think it helps recruiting. It does.
It does. There's no doubt. And it might help in the transfer portal. So recruiting high school or recruiting college transfers, either way, it's recruiting.
It is recruiting,
Yep.
yeah. I mean, actually, the transfer portal is the number one way to
especially for
rebuild,
bigger,
get better.
The bigger your brand is, the more likely you are to lean on the portal. And if you're growing your brand, you're going to lean more on the portal over time. I was just reading a thing about the Big Ten schools treating the MAC like junior colleges. And the money, that's the way it's going to be.
Yeah. So there you go on that. And I think they might promote Papinga, and I don't have any clue who they're going to do on the cornerbacks coach, but I have confidence that they'll be good. And it's funny. I think the more of the angst is toward the Utes and Kyle.
And we can get to that next. Everybody's contribution to the angst stew. Stay with us. DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.